Good morning and welcome back to Doing It Scared, where today we are going to take on another project. So you may have seen my post yesterday. This is one I actually wanted to practice to see if it would work before doing it live. So this is what I worked on yesterday. You will notice this is a very small, chunky canvas, okay? And this looks like it should take like all of 5 minutes, but with the layering effect and then working with the paint, it really took like an hour or so. So we're gonna create another version of this today, different colors. I might use a different little bit of a technique. So this right here, the whole thing was created using this spatula. You can see the red still on there from yesterday. So this is what we're going to be working on, okay? And I'm going to use the spatula. I have some others. I may switch them up because, again, I'm experimenting. So I have a lot of different, you can tell that I've used them before. So anyway, I will show you each one as I use it. I chose the smaller, wider one for this project. And as far as paint goes, so this is really came together as a way for me to use up some paint that had already been prepped for a paint party. So I have some of these little cups here, and that's what these were made with. And so some of these are like a year old. So as I open them, the paint is going to be thicker. Some of it may be completely dried up and I'll throw it away. But if it's thicker, that's why I'm using kind of the spatula process, okay? And adding some stuff in there. So the colors that I have, I can't tell you the exact colors because like I said, these are left over from past paint parties that weren't used, never opened. But I have this beautiful blue, and then this I know is mermaid tail because that's my favorite. Anyway, mermaid tail. I don't know that I'll use all of these. I have a little bit of the sunny day yellow and then some gold. I also have, regular white and black paint that I may pull on, which is fine. And I've got to grab something real quick. And sorry, y'all gonna have to see me grab my rag. I forgot to get my clean off rag, which is very important. I need this to clean off the tools as we go. I'm not working with a brush or needing a water pot at this time. This is probably going to just go on my lap because that's where I usually go to school. Also, some things that I may incorporate. You may see me use some dotting tools. We'll just kind of see where all this goes for the next hour. And hopefully we'll come out with something that we all enjoy, right? Or like, so anyway, again, I'm going to go ahead and change the camera and make sure. Okay, that looks like it's centered well. All right, so this is the one that I did previously, okay? So I've got a brand new block here. I like these blocks. I think they're fun to make paintings with. They can sit on their side by themselves. They don't have to be hung. As I digress, I'll show you. So this is a paint shop that I have coming up soon. These are the same blocks, and it just has a variety of different images. So like for the party I have coming up, it's in November. Everybody will get to make 4 of these blocks, and I have like 6 different designs. So they can choose their design. There's the little VW bug. There's our little reindeer. Reindeer. And my snowman. So I like them because I think they're fun little ways to decorate small spaces. They're also, so like when I have this as a party, they can do they'll get 4 cubes. They can do all 4 the same, maybe keep one, give the others as a gift, or they can make them all different. It's up to them, okay? All right, so now off to the races, so to speak here. So the first thing I'm going to do, and this is because I want to set the point of focus. So on this one, I used the center as the point of focus, and I think I'm going to do this one off center. So you're not going to see this little dot, but this is where I start with. So I'm going to go right there, and that's just to guide me. Okay. I'm going to be using the same process. Doesn't mean that it's going to come out the same. So we're going to start with some of this blue. And you can see there, like the paint usually is a little runny. This one is a little thicker. So that's, again, a good way to use up old paint. I wouldn't want to use this paint for a party because it just doesn't flow as well because it's thickened up. But mix it up real good. Okay, and so then I want to show you what I'm doing here. I'm getting all of that paint bunched up right there on the end. And then that way I'm gonna just take my blade here, or my spatula. I'm picking up just a little bit of paint there. And like I said, I'm gonna do the same process I did yesterday. I'm gonna start with this first one, press and pull, okay? And we do this in layers. You guys know that I tend to block and then do things in layers. And so it's no different with this one. And as I go around the dot, I'm going to actually move the canvas. And this is, I guess you could kind of say this is similar to paint pouring because you're just smushing paint onto the canvas, but a little bit different. I might do one of these in the spring. I'm planning on doing, and I've got 3 strokes out of this one, okay? So I'm gonna do this on the larger side. I am gonna have some paint pouring in the spring. I think that's a lot of fun. Get the creative juices flowing. All right, so that one's done. I'm just gonna put that up there. I'm gonna open another one. Again, these are all the same color. Mix it up real good. As they were prepped for a paint kit that did not, let's put it this way. I prepped way too many for a vendor show that I did last year. I think I prepped 100 kits and there were, I don't even know if there was 100 people at that event, but I learned a lot. So again, just doing the same motions. And of course, I think on this one, obviously, I'm going to do a few things different. But the idea here is, you guys, you need to be creative and let yourself explore. So there's the main point, okay? So I'm not going to push that in, but I am going to move and get to some of this mermaid tail now. So I'm going to go ahead, move this to the side, and with my spatula, I'm just wiping off the paint, okay? Yes, you'll see paint from before, it's okay. Doesn't really become a problem whatsoever. Okay, and then so here is, I know this is mermaid tail because it's my favorite. So you can see, again, a little thicker body just from some evaporation. Oh gosh, stop. And yes, you're gonna get yourself completely and totally dirty. Okay, there. Get what's on the lid off because there's quite a bit. So some of these might have a lot on the lid because once I pull them out of kits, I just throw them in a box. And they've been accumulating there, waiting for me to come up with something to do with them, because it's just really hard to throw out paint, even though, you know, it's older. I will say, white paint does not work because white paint dries out faster. It's just different. All right, so what I'm going to do now is something that I totally forgot that I want to do. I want to do the sides. And so I'm going to do one more stroke. I'm going to do some teal around, and then I'm going to look at and do something on the sides so that, as you can see here, this one doesn't look finished, but you do get some rollover. I just want a base coat on that. So again, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to do this one a little bit different than I did yesterday and not go all the way up to the center point with my second coat. What I'm looking here is that I'm filling in those white spaces. And you can see how glossy this looks. You can also tell like the paint standing up. It will mellow. So the one that I did yesterday, the top of it is dry, but I don't dare like drop anything on it. It's gonna take a good 2 to 3 days, maybe longer. I'll probably let it set for a week before I try to, you know, display it anywhere. All right, need a little bit more of this. Let's get to the next cup. There we go. Now, you don't have to wait for paint to dry out to do this. There is a way that you can add thickness. There's thick body mix-ins that you can use. I do know some people, I don't do this because it's just weird, but I know that some people have said that they've added flour to their paint to make it thicker, more like an impasto? I don't know. Okay, so I don't know if you can see this, but these right here are the blue. It's drying, so the color's changing just a little bit as it dries. That's okay. So I really want, since I have mostly blue, I'm going to go through, I'm going to clean this off again. Okay, and now I'm going to sit this on, no, I'm not going to sit on it. I'm going to use blue paint, and I'm going to just smush in on the sides. So this will take a little bit of fun. So I'm just going to pretty much do this. Easy peasy. And I'm going to do that to each of the sides. Hopefully I don't stick my fingers in what I've already done. I was trying to do that with the other angle. I have to go this way. Oops, I already put my finger in something. Need a little bit more for that. I don't want to sit this down on the side because then it undoes everything that we're doing. This will also help if for some reason we get some that goes over the side, or I want to pull some of the design down. Like that for a minute. You can see how messy my hands already are. This is what I would call a messy project. Let's see. I'm trying to do this. You can see. So this is the last side I'm going to show you, and then I'm just going to do the fourth one. Okay, so it's just literally putting a little bit of that paint on the spatula and wiping it across. That one did nice. Now you can see it's not even. I'm okay with that because I like things that aren't perfect. Okay, so I'm going to do this last one without picking it up and showing you because it's just a little hard to do that. But I can do this while it's on its own. Hope y'all are having a great day while you're waiting for me to finish the sides up because I didn't do that earlier. Now I know I'll probably get some paint running. That's why I've got this piece of paper under. I usually have a plastic sheet, but I didn't want to put the plastic sheet down. I had these scrap pieces of paper. Okay, so as you can tell then, we are at I got all of the sides done. Now, chances are I'm going to have to touch up these sides because I am putting my fingers in things as I'm moving the, what do you call it? The the canvas around. Okay, so what I'm going to do, see, this is a lot of thought. Okay, I'm going to go through, I'm going to do another round of the blue, and then we'll see what color I do next. So again, working out my paint so it's right there on the edge, picking it up with the palette. And this time I'm going to start here. And when you see that, it looks like the color isn't the same, but it will dry the same. So really, I'm trying to go in between where I see teal and blue. I just put my finger inside, that's okay. To get another blue. Okay, and I'm not going to show you, I'm just picking up some of this. And let's go this way, right here. Here. Originally, when I started the red yesterday, I was trying to make like a daisy looking flower, but the paint is not as thick as I thought it was going to be, but that's okay. That's how I come up with new ideas. Oops, big old drop right there on my, okay, so now I am, let's see, what am I going to do? So the other one, I just layered these colors over and over. I don't know that I want to do that same technique. I am going to go ahead with another mermaid tail real quick. And then we're going to start putting probably some pops of yellow and gold in this. So with these, I'm going to go a little bit up just between. Oops, so I dropped a blob right there. I think y'all can see that. Let me push this back a little bit. You guys will see better. So yes, globs of paint, just globs and globs and globs and globs of paint. As I'm doing this, I'm remembering that this is my center point. So I want everything to radiate out of that. Me and words today, we're having a bit of a time. Okay. So I am going to pull in a little bit of yellow. I'm actually thinking I might mix one of the yellows and the teals, but we'll see. All right, here's yellow. This is quite a bit thicker. I don't know if it's just lighter colors tend to dry out faster, but you can tell that it's much thicker. So I'm just really using the tip of this, and I'm going to just, we'll see, you'll watch. I'm going to just kind of place and drag through what we already have. Okay, that's what's left. So if I don't want to I have to clean it off before I do it again, or I'm going to be putting the wrong stuff. So I'm just wiping it right there on the paper. There we go. That's too much yellow on that. Okay, I don't want quite that much. That angle didn't get done as well as I would have liked. Using my left hand does not work as well. Oh, I keep forgetting to wipe off the previous, so that's okay. So you could tell I pushed down more to bring those colors together. Didn't mean to, it's just the angle, because right now with the sides being wet. Let's see, let's do right here. And maybe one more. Little bit right here. Okay, so I'm kind of liking how this is going. I do want these to be, the yellows to come up a little bit more. I'd like them to meet in the middle since I kind of started that. So what I'm going to do is open up another yellow. I only have 3 of these yellows to work with. And I'm just going to go right over what I did before. That's what I wanted. And I think I'm going to do one more over there. Right here. Okay. Not quite how I pictured that, so we'll just, okay. This is fun. Hope you're having fun. I love doing this. You can see I'm starting to wipe off the paint on the piece of paper because I'm getting tired of the, what do you call it? The rag, because I'm doing it so many times. So it's just as easy to do that. Okay. Now let's think about what I want to do next. Let's, okay. I'm going to use, so I have like 3 of these greens left. And I'm going to just go through, and let's see, I'm going to just poke around, adding towards the outside edge. On top of some of these blues. It is actually difficult for me to keep remembering to wipe my palette off. My spatula off. Sorry, guys. So I don't like the angle and I don't like the glob up there. So I'm going to just go ahead and use the tip. There we go. That's better. Okay, now just a little bit more blue. I'm really working on these outside edges. Like I said, this may not take an hour. Yesterday it did. I was learning what I was doing. But now that I've got a feel for it, so any place where I see I feel like it's too green, I'm going back towards the outside and just adding some of this blue, like right in here. And you might be thinking, what about that white edge you're leaving everywhere? I'll show you how I did that with the other one, because we will let it go ahead and drain over. I'm not, okay, I'm just gonna try this. Hopefully I don't regret it. Okay, it covered up more of the yellow than I thought. I wanted to drag it. So kind of placing little blobs of blue. Again, running my spatula through everything as I do it. And I'm going back in towards the center. What I'm doing now is I'm wanting to create long strokes of blue because that's my main color. I want the other stuff to be accent. Okay, time for another blue. So if I ran out of blue, like if I didn't have any more, I'd have to switch to another color, which is fine. It kind of forces you to be a little more creative, but I have a lot of these blue tubs right now. That's just a little much with the yellow. There we go. But I didn't bring it to the tips, so there we go. So I'm just adding now where I feel it could use a little bit more, not even more paint, but like more just, yeah, dragging things through more. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to start just using this spatula and I'm going to drag some streaks. I got that one off. There we go. You can see as we do this how some of the colors start to blend together, but I'm wanting to make this to look like everything's fanning out of this center point. Now, like I said, remember, this is all gonna settle down. So you can see all the ridges and stuff. This was full of ridges. I mean, it's still got a texture, but when it dries, it settles down a little bit, so it's not going to be as pokey. If you want something that shows off more than that, then we really need to add texture to the paint, and we might do that another day. Let's see. I want just a little more yellow over there because I'm starting to lose it. Okay. That looks pretty good. So I'm going to do, basically following what I did yesterday. Same kind of process. Now what I'm going to do is I need to put something in the center. So I'm going to just pick up a blob, and I've chosen yellow. And I'm just going to move it around into like a little button there, okay? Now I am working it as well to kind of, as you can see, there's a big blob there, so I want it to be centered, and so I'm moving it around to like I don't want it super huge by any means. And what you could do with this is still, like we can make this a totally mixed media. I could put some quotes in there. I could, you know, really there's a lot that you can do. It's just having fun. All right, I do want to add some gold, because even though the other one is red and this one's blue, the gold will tie it together. Keep wiping off this spatula. So here's the gold. I'm just going to take just a little, I'm not getting a big glop on there. I'm just taking and getting it on the back. And I'm going to touch the center and drag out. So I'm going to do that for quite a few, and then I'll go in between and make some shorter ones. It's good. It didn't come all the way out, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. Notice how I'm bringing everything back to the center point. That's where my eye, I want everybody's eye to focus. Another one right here. Okay, I think I need one more in there. Let's do one more. Okay. Now I'm going to do some shorter strokes, just down at the in between where I've already gone, but they're going to be further down. They're not going to meet up to that point. These already kind of look like that, but that's a little globby. Let's see, let's do this first. These back ones are harder because I'm having to work against what's already on my desk. You know, this is one of the reasons why I'm doing it scared, because it's just fun to experiment as well. So I want, if I can encourage any of you to just be creative and create, and it's just for you guys. Doesn't matter if anybody else in your family likes it or not. And, you know, there have been several projects that I've done that I've absolutely hated. I'm pulling this through a little bit more. There we go. And you know what? It's okay. I either cover them up with white paint and do something else. I've been known to throw a few away, and that's okay as well. I don't have to keep or like everything that I make. I'm really liking how this gold, I have to get another thing of gold. You know, I think this would be a pretty process with pale colors, like pale pinks and blues, very soft. Okay, so I am actually really liking the way this looks. So now I'm going to focus on these outside edges, okay? Because I got this white part. So what I'm going to do is very carefully go to the edge and drag over the edge. The idea is to just drag down what's there without disturbing the image. So like here, I might need to. So I'm going to be wiping off the back of the palette every few things. That one, the top is going to be the hardest for me to do because I can't angle. I really, if I was not showing you guys this, you wouldn't probably see. I like, yeah, anyway, I'd be already even more covered up than I want to be. So this is giving me a hard time right here. So I'm going to scrape what I have. There we go. See, it's easier doing it towards me. And I got tired of being perfect, so I'm just kind of filling it in. And I'll put the strokes back in there in a minute. You can see how on this one, when I did that, some of it started going over the side in a drippy little messy thing. I kind of like that, so that doesn't bother me at all. I don't know if you can see if I got some of this dripping over on this side. You probably can't see it, and if I pick it up, I will mess up the rest of it. At this point, everything on here is wet, so I'm trying not to touch it at all because I'm just doing some finishing touches. Okay, so that's about as good as it's gonna get right now. I may do some touch-ups after it dries if I feel like it's needed. I am gonna go through and do a few more strokes just because I don't want it to be focused on the outside edges where I've tried to pull it over. So we're trying to just blend everything. I'm gonna get done early today because this is about where I'm ready to do final touches. So yes, today it took me less than an hour, but this is the second time I'm doing this, so I kind of know what I like. I don't like that right there, but that's okay. I'm going to go back in a minute. So I don't like how that looks right there. I'm going to just pick up a little blue. Put a fresh blue right there. There we go. Okay, so I'm pretty much liking this. I feel like if I added anything else, it would just be too much. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add some details with the black. So the black is the only color that I am using straight out of the bottle. I'm just going to use one of these lids and put just a tiny bit in there. The tiniest bit because I don't need that much. Okay. And you can see in this one I did a gold starburst on top. I don't think I'm going to do that with this one. I'm going to do this one a little bit different. We're going to focus on dots. So I'm going to use this as a dotting tool to do in this center area and then maybe bring some through. We're going to see. So I'm going to start with just dipping it in the black and going straight to the center and up. Okay. And you can see this on the end, this dotting tool is pretty large, and then I have a smaller one on the other end, so I'll probably go back in doing smaller ones as well. We'll see how it all comes together. I mean, how much fun would this be doing this with your grandkids, letting them get all messy? Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in this small. I'm going to now move, in a large, I'm now going to move to the small side because I'm going to add some more. And as small as this is, you can see what the size of dot. You get a larger size dot, just a little bit, depending on how much you press down. if I wanted to, I could, after I dout these, I could go through and swirl it together. There's all sorts of things you can do because this paint's going to take a little bit of time to dry. You can see some of the dots as it's settling, going in together. That's cute. So I don't really have like a rhyme or reason. I'm just kind of putting these in as I go, seeing what I like. Okay, so we've got that. Now I'm going to just do, honestly, the rest of these marks out through here are the same process. It's just using the tip of the dotting tool and resting. So here we go. I'm going to just slowly rest this in and drag. And now I can do the other side a little bit and drag. So I'm getting just a little bit of this black. I'm going to through this. I always sometimes hesitate because y'all know how much I love my black paint and the details, but it's my thing, so I'm just going to keep going with it. I do get very repetitive, I understand, with my black outlining and dotting. So you can see here, I'm just kind of brushing it into the various areas. So I'm going to go with the larger one now. It's not going to be all that much different, but it will be a little bit thicker. And let's see, I didn't mean to dig in that, but that's okay. What I'm trying not to do is take away from the texture that I already have. I'm trying to let this just basically float on top. And I started from the inside. Now I'm going to go to the outside. I'm not having a bunch of straight lines, but just a little bit of this to basically, see, I did that again. I didn't want to press too hard. That's okay. This really just gets the eye moving. I always feel like that black tells you where to focus and the colors tell you the rest of the story, but that's just me. And we're almost done here. Wow, it was 45 minutes, but I guess. And here. Okay, so I'm going to stop because I'm at that point where I could very easily go one step too far. Except right here, I want to do this. Okay. So this is a good stopping point. So let's go ahead and I'm going to say, get a good look at the finished piece. Again, I'll post a picture in discussion when it's completely dry. And that is it for Doing It Scared today. So I'd love to know your thoughts. If this is a project that you might find yourself doing, just give me a little shout out in the discussion page. Let me know. Also, guys, if you ever share or try any of these that I'm doing with Do It Scared, please go to my Facebook Passport Paint Parties page and share your completed project. I would love to see those. on here, and I just get really excited. So thank you so much, and I'll see you next week when we're going to be back and we're going to do it scared. Thank you.